Those are the images that are just the random images. Everything that you see here just later on was used for the promotional materials. So I did a couple of promo materials with the art directors and editor in North America, and I use these things on the t-shirts as well. This is the sketchbook, and then I scan it and then I digitize it. I'm using Photoshop and I'm using an Illustrator as well. And you will see a couple of images over there that are just black and white images, but if you do want to manipulate the image with a little bit of a texture, suddenly things are going to be more personal. So I would like to tell you something about the style as well, and about style developing. If you repeat the things all the time, then you are just playing in your comfort zone. So if you are making a mistake, if you are pushing yourself, then you are developing. Otherwise, the things are just going to be there, and it's going to be similar like any other portfolio online. So if I'm an art director and I see your portfolio, and your portfolio is very similar to something that I've seen before, I will just simply ask myself, why should I hire this guy? I can hire anyone else. So it should be a little bit unique, and to have some kind of a personal approach. And I will show you these things. So one on the left is just a random image from the sketchbook, and I use this one. So every time when we start the school in fall at Oakland University, I'm also teaching at Oakland University, they also have this good habit to say to their professors, can you please design the posters so students can see what is your work and get some information based on this one. And then you can see how this thing is going to connect with the audience. My teaching philosophy, as you can see over there, is think, 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 draw. So I draw every day, but I also have days when I can't draw, and I use these days to very rationally analyze the images. So what I'm going to do with those images. So I think it's very important. Maybe 5 days a week you're going to be creative, and then use Saturday and Sunday to be like very rational and say what was going on through my mind when I was doing this. Couple of images over there. So these illustrations were commissioned for a cultural festival in Eastern Europe, in Serbia. And the topic was political, and you can connect with these images because it is also comment how state and the government shape the society and culture by cutting the budget. So it should be a little bit edgy, it should be a little bit revolutionary. And in terms of style, I believe it's obvious homage to Russian avant-garde and a few of my favorite artists and designers. One is Alexander Rodchenko and the other one is L. Lisitsky. And of course, you can note the use of Cyrillic alphabet to emphasize the revolutionary feel into this one. I went into this direction on purpose. And the one is actually, you can see this small illustration over there, which is upside down. And this is also a comment about it's your fault and it's your fault. So those two guys are accusing each other, and they are also turning around, perpetually accusing each other. And the last page is here. This image with this man is, if you're an artist, open your soul and your mind and be a man with a fire inside, or instead you're going to leave. So it's pretty direct. And a couple of small images. If you are in graphic design, you know that sometimes you're going to have this beautiful thing on your screen, and then when it returns from the print shop, it is a little bit different. So this is just for me to express my frustration with CMYK. So this was also used for my business card for a long time. And this is an example of what is going on in the sketchbook and how I use it. So this was not like intentional, so it was not meant to be presented to anyone. And I decided to change it. So on the left side you see the same image that was digitized, and I sent this postcard to many of the art directors in North America, and I do have a good response, and also with the monkey. So this is just black and white, and then I change it. Those are the images, so a little bit of a character design over there. I use it for different purposes, and also I started with no intention at all. It was just an exercise. When you don't have a job or when you don't have a story, please do not wait for the story to come up. you can always do it for yourself. So sometimes the most intimate things are going to be the best things in your portfolio. And you will see that some of the images over there, when you put it in a context, it looks a little bit different. So Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. So this was also sent to my editors and art directors. This one is particularly important, this one here, because it was just a sketch on the paper, and I was selected to create the branding for animation festival in Serbia, and I decided to go with this guy, and you will see why. So a couple of images over there, so I figured out maybe this guy is just going to sit there, and a couple of trying outs with the characters. And this is the actual graphic design with the catalog for the festival. So it looked like this. And those are the billboards and the posters and the flyers. So entire city was just, you know, like decorated with this work. And let's see if I can play this thing, if my computer allows me to. Pretty slow. Okay. So this was a TV ad, TV commercial there, and this is something that that you're going to experience a lot. So sometimes the things are going to be there on paper, and you're going to animate and do the things. Next one is. I wanted to, so this is also unintentional. So I just started with a sketch, and I just figured out what will happen if we change the position. So what will happen if we put the horse in the position of the rider, and what that means, and it became a political comment. So what if we are using something unexpected or surprise that create the image loaded with the meaning? And I developed these things in different iterations and the different variations of the rider. It's a little bit a comment about the ideology, about the monuments, about our heroes. Are we going to question them or not? And this is how it looks like surrounded. So this is this was published in Germany, and this is an illustration surrounded by the columns and the type. And you will see on these images how the design and illustration interact on the page and support the same ideas. You can read it over there, Collaterale Epochen, which is collateral times or the age. So it's very political comment about what is going on in society. Because I love the idea, I decided to do this thing on a scratchboard. And scratchboard is something that is also reverse process. Usually when you draw, you are subtracting the light by adding something darker. In this one, you are scratching the things, and you are adding the light. So it's different, and because I like it a lot, I do it quite often. And very, very personal, almost like surrealist narrative. And I also do a lot of comics. I used to do it a lot when I was a student, when I was your age, very personal. And this is something that I show to my students if I want to show them what the flow on the comic page means, and how to create the flow, how to connect the panels and the images. We are going to talk about this a little bit later on Monday on the workshop, an entire week. So how to put the images in a certain order so we can actually connect them inside of our minds and get the story. So the same thing for the comics. Something, of course, about the love. And these images are something that I have done, I believe, 2-3 years ago. And I read a couple of very disturbing articles about the human cruelty on animals and environment, and I wanted to combine this thing and to address this kind of a problem. So this is just a general feel of anxiety because biologists and environmentalists are continually issuing warnings about the overfishing, global warming, side effects of genetical engineering. So there's so many things over there, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use these things, even if it means that this is going to be a t-shirt. So you can use your images nowadays in many different ways. And also this is very inspired by this Yuko. She's a British illustrator living in America, living in New York now, and she's always commenting something about the human environment and the cruelty and problem with this in civilization. So I decided to make this, it's just a linear black and white drawings, and it's just like the combination of the insects and something that is more typical for some other animals. And it is meant to be disturbing. So this image is actually created in a way that you start thinking about what is going on. This one is a little bit different. So this is the say low point of my life. So my father passed away in 2003, and a couple of months ago I started these drawings, and I was not aware what was going on. So many years after, I figured out that I was actually dealing with the grief in these drawings. And as you can see, this is always a person that is connected to earth, connected to the ground, can't reach the sky. So we are always in our lives, we are always in that position. So we want to go on the other side to connect with something, and we are always missing. So those are the things. Just a black and white nib pen on paper. But I also have a bright side as well.